I had come out here about 2 years ago to help Frank pick a location for a place that I did not know was going to be the Heavenly Center. We found this location and he told me we were going to start renovating. And so matter-of-factly, Frank and I, the owner, were walking down the street and I said, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to be the director for you. And he said, yeah, great, sounds good. And fast forward a year and a half, 2 years later, here we are. I believe that we are legitimately having an impact on these guys' lives. And it feels good to know that what we're doing is making a difference. And I've been watching it make a difference. So that is definitely my favorite thing about being here. I think that probably the most overlooked truth of recovery is that there's not one particular way to do recovery. When I first came out here, I still call myself in recovery, but when I came out here, I'd followed the traditional 12-step model, complete abstinence. And I saw people working here, like Nick and others, be successful and be sober and use cannabis. So I took their lead, and it's taken me to where I am now, and I love being here. So I have over 5 years of recovery now, but there was a time when I couldn't put together 5 minutes of recovery, and varying degrees in between. And I had tried the marijuana maintenance because I was born in the 12-step model, you know? That's where I got sober. And, you know, if you smoke weed, you're not sober. If you drink, you're not sober. If you're on that medication, you're not sober.
Do you believe that?
No, definitely not. I definitely prescribed to that school of thought, like, pretty strong until I got here. And I saw everyone being so successful and happy and not using hard drugs, and it's keeping them away from the heroin and the fentanyl and that stuff. It really changed my perspective. But there had been times in the past where the next step after cannabis use for me was heroin use. So it was like, once I'm off the wagon, I'm off the wagon. But I realized it doesn't have to be black or white. There is a gray area. Yeah, so we definitely regulate our cannabis usage here, as well as the guests. The idea of the cannabis usage is it's supposed to help these guys. It's supposed to be an aid. It's supposed to make your life better. It's supposed to make you more productive. It's supposed to make a better version of yourself. That's how I like to present it to these guys. If it's taking away from something or making you so tired that you can't do, you know, there's a time and a place for it, and there's a way to use it, and there's so much education. And thankfully we have Andrea, our wellness expert here, who's super educated on that stuff. For these guys, fortunately, they have 12 weeks that they're here to sort that out. So I wish I had 12 weeks where I got to figure out my best cannabis intake or usage for myself. But fortunately, they're here to work on themselves, and they get to discover and figure out and decide what works best for them.